Hi there, good morning and welcome. You're watching Chartbusters. I'm Mangla Malu. With me is Reema Tendulkar. After a stellar rally of around 500 points in the March month so far, we're seeing a bit of volatility, a pause for breath perhaps for the frontline indices. The mid-caps coming undone a little bit, just some profit taking after a stellar outperformance that we've seen. But if you take a look at the Asian markets, they are underperforming. So in that regard, flat is something that the bulls would like, and it is an outperformance as against the peers. Hi, Reema.
Hi, Mangla. Brexit uncertainty is weighing on the Asian markets as the Brexit exit, or the deal for UK to exit the European zone, that deal suffered another defeat in the UK Parliament yesterday. So that's the reason why global markets are down anywhere from 0.5% going up to 1.5% for the Japanese index. And not to forget, crude prices also continue with their uptrends, are currently hovering around that $67 per barrel mark. So that too is putting its pressure. It's just the mid-cap, the benchmark indices are flat. It's the mid-caps which are under pressure and underperforming today. Let's first run you through all the top headlines at this hour. Oil prices edge higher, supported by planned cuts by Saudi Arabia in exports and a reduced forecast for US crude output. Oil marketing companies slip in trade.
DLF surges as CLSA upgrades the stock to buy from sell. CLSA expects the company's rental business to deliver double-digit compounding in the long term.
Other real estate companies like Godrej Properties, Prestige, Brigade are off their highs. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that the GST Law and Fitment Committee proposes a reversal of the input tax credit by the real estate developers on input goods and services lying unused as of 31st of March.
SpiceJet feels the heat as the DGCA decides to ban the operations of Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft from its airspace, with effect 4 p.m. today.
Bajaj Consumer tanks another 5%. The promoters sell 6.85% stake in the company via a large trade yesterday.
Right, well, the decline in the mid-cap space is now getting a little accelerated. So we're seeing some cuts come by on PVR, erstwhile outperformers. In fact, this week itself, the PVR stock has been higher by about 4.5%. Higher by about 7-8% this month. We have SAIL, which is at the low point of the day, and along with that we have Exide, which is coming in for some sell-off as well, currently at the low point of the day. So how does one approach the market at flat levels for the frontline index and low levels for the mid-cap index? Prakash, is this a dip to buy into, or maybe just pause for breath, wait for a move and then get in?
Dip is certainly buy into, but how much dip is the problem?
Okay.
So far it's been had a massive rally of 300 points in 3 trading sessions. That's too much to ask for. The place for a pause, the pause is good. The place for a dip is good, but how much is the question. So far I would say that so far looks good to me. The next technical targets on the upside is 11,450, because the previous target of 11,342 has been achieved to get. So uptrend still intact. I would have 2 stocks here. Amar Raja Battery certainly looks good to me. It's given a beautiful breakout and it's heading to levels closer to around 790 zones. Stop below 750 on Amar Raja Battery should be fine. I also like MGL. MGL is showing some kind of attraction here. An up move, momentum is building up. MGL can, Mahanagar Gas Limited can climb to around 930 zones. Stop below 900.
Okay, Prakash, thank you so much for joining in. Let's move on and talk about the aviation sector, because the DGCA is all set to ban Boeing 737 MAX operations from its airspace effective 4 p.m. today. Anu Sharma joins in with details. Anu, very late, in this global move to ban Boeing 737 planes, but finally India has done it effective 4 p.m. today.
Yeah, that's right. So effective 4 p.m., there'll be no MAX operations in Indian airspace. And remember, as of right now, largely the US and Canada remain the only geographies where MAX operations are still prevalent. Boeing, of course, is saying that the aircraft is safe and they are conducting their assessment. In fact, the US aviation regulator, FAA, had released a statement late last night saying that as of right now, their review shows no systemic performance issues and provides no basis to order grounding the aircraft. So that is why the US airlines continue to fly. As many as 74 MAXs fly in the US airspace from the US carriers. Now, as of right now, the Civil Aviation Ministry will conduct a meeting with Jet Airways and SpiceJet at 4 p.m. today, and they will discuss the backup plan, the substitute aircraft which will be needed for these MAX operations, because SpiceJet operates around 12 MAX aircraft, and some of these aircraft are operating on international routes. So as many as 10,000 passengers will get affected by cancellations or rescheduling. So all that plan will be decided today at 4 p.m.
All right, 4 p.m. is something that we'll be keeping an eye out on, but the stock markets are taking note of these developments. Over just the last two trading sessions, SpiceJet, which has the maximum number of Boeing 737s in its fleet, is lower by about 10%. Today, lower by about 5%. Similar were the cuts that we saw yesterday as well. Conversely, you take a look at Indigo. So Interglobe Aviation, that stock is seeing a bit of an uptick. So is there a play out there from a stock market perspective? Well, we have Mayur Milak, the senior research analyst at India Nivesh, who joins us on the show. If the price is something to go by, you know, the street is indicating that maybe the problems with Jet, the problems with SpiceJet means someone's gains and Indigo's moved higher. Is that what you're assessing as well?
Hi. Yeah, honestly, I don't think that is really a case. It is, I think, more to do with sentiments. You know, because grounding one aircraft really does not mean Indigo gets to fly those passengers. I think what it does, of course, is it hardens the yield for everybody. Okay. So while I really don't think it is gain for Indigo as such, but I think, yes, for the industry, if the yields are improving, it is definitely, he's the market leader, should benefit out of this.
Mayur, what does it mean for SpiceJet in particular? Because SpiceJet was in a sweet spot with troubles going on in Jet Airways, and they had grounded so many of their own planes on account of internal reasons. So SpiceJet was a beneficiary of that. And now you've got 12 of its planes which could get potentially grounded. Purely on the financial basis, what impact will it have? Should we be bracing ourselves for some sort of a revenue or EPS cut? And we've seen the stock correct in the last 2 days. Do you expect the correction to deepen? And how would you approach this correction?
So, if you go back some months, when the delays happened in Airbus, Indigo actually got fair compensation for that. There is a fair reason to believe that these are the faults at Boeing's end. So there's a fair chance that while this is sentiment negative, SpiceJet could be compensated for the losses that they would be incurring because of this. So yeah, I think while it is a chaos at the passenger, the traveler level, I really don't see this as a major P&L impact. So my sense is, in fact, it actually adds to everybody's gain because the yields are hardening. You've seen really crude correct from Q3 from about $78, $80 levels to about 65, 67 now. So my sense is, in fact, you'd probably see, these guys report much stronger Q4 numbers than probably what they would have reported in Q3 as well.
So in a situation like this, okay, you've spoken about this particular story and the impact of this coming, which won't be too much apart from the sentiment negative that you're talking about. How does one approach the aviation sector if one has to deploy money into the aviation sector? Jet has its own problems. There is Interglobe and then there is Spice. How do you assess these companies?
So, our top pick has been SpiceJet now, I think, with the rally that has happened in Indigo. So we had a buy on Indigo as well. But I think Indigo has seen a sharp rally. So if from today I really have to look at these stocks, my top bet is SpiceJet. My simple perception is that, as these new aircraft start coming in, they will start having structural benefits really coming into their numbers. You will see the maintenance cost come off. You will see the fuel efficiency coming in much better since they were running the 8-year, 10-year-old aircrafts versus the newer ones that will really come in. You will see the rental benefits really coming in. So my sense is that while yields will move and fuel cost will move for the industry overall, you will see internal benefits really accruing to SpiceJet. And that is why my sense is that at these levels, it is definitely a very strong buy.
And what would be the target price you ascribe to SpiceJet?
So we're looking at a target price of about anywhere between 140, 150 rupees. So practically
buy even at 74, 75 rupees.
100%. We think it's a double from these levels.
Okay, so you're saying yield goes up, fuel costs have come down, Q4 numbers will look good. In SpiceJet, yes, there will be some near-term disruption, but there is a possibility the company can get compensated from Boeing in terms of the financial losses it bears.
Yes.
What about Vistara, the joint venture between Tata Sons and Singapore Airlines? Has got the green signal to fly international now. How does it change the competitiveness in the sky?
So, I think for a long time now, they've been trying hard to really penetrate into the Indian markets. but for some reason that has not really happened. The fact that they were also serious about looking at Air India at some point, we'd want to believe that sooner or later that thing should really open up for them again, because Air India will come up for a sale. It is known in public domain, and I think the biggest beneficiary or the biggest guy who should really be serious about it should be Vistara if they want to make serious inroads in Indian Air. So I think I'll probably want to look at them from that angle. So far, amongst the listed players, we like SpiceJet and followed by Indigo.
All right, SpiceJet followed by Indigo. That's as far as the listed space is concerned. Speaking about a possibility of Vistara, taking a look at Air India if one must. That's the Indian skies. Let's talk about Boeing from a global market perspective. Any numbers on how much of this could impact Boeing by its figures? Because it has a fair weight on the Dow Jones. Yesterday as well, the Dow Jones, while it was down about 98, 99 points, 150 points were shaved off because of Boeing. We had the previous trading session as well, 150 points taken off by Boeing. So it has a fair weight. Any numbers that you've done on what it means for Boeing itself?
I wouldn't really be able to have the real impact on it, but I would definitely mean, this particular model 737 MAX is one of the top selling models of Boeing's. There is no reason to believe that this would be their priority, and I think what really needs to be seen is how far they are able to reassure that the product is now completely safe for traveling. I think globally this is the highest selling model now, so I'm sure it should be probably a fortnight or maybe a max a month away, where we can have those reassurances back. I think once that happens, you will start seeing numbers really coming back.
All right, Mayur, thanks a lot for joining in and giving us your view on this whole situation. Mayur Milak still sticking his neck out with SpiceJet, saying it could be a doubler from these levels. These issues are near-term from an investor perspective. But remember, this has been a large human interest story, so we wish everyone safe flights as well as commiserations if your flight schedules are disrupted because of that. And from Mayur's end, perhaps a safe investment is what you would wish for all your clients as well. This story, the banning of the Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft, remains a developing story, and you can catch the latest by logging on to our website, CNBC-TV18.com. Stuck at the airport, log on to CNBC-TV18.com. It'll tell you everything about this story.